warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Bidasari Siregar and I'm from Mathematics Education. So today I will try to dub some video about motivational speech. The topic of this speech is mathematics and the title is Mathematics Isn't Hard as Language by Randy Palisov. So without spending more time, let's check it out!
26% on the nation report part that the percentage should be low for 12th grader for all subtraction in the math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country, but the 26% sound exceptional to you? Raise your hand if you think as the country we need to do way better than this. I'm with you. We all need math for the wire so many get confused bias. It because only 26% of people are hardwired from math, love 70% or not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this in the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching at the dehumanized subject. But the we make math human again, it will start make sense again. We're probably wondering how is math in every human in the first place, so think about it. Math is the human language just like English, Spanish, or Chinese, because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even the ancient time people need the language of math to conduct trade, to build a monument, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of the math language isn't exactly new. The great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agreed, isn't it? But somewhere along the line, we're taking the language of math with about the real world around us and we abstract to beyond the recognition. And that's what kids get confused. Let me show you what it means. Well, see this third grade Californian math standard. And people make sense with 8 years old. Understand the fraction 1 over b the 24 by 1 part when the whole is divided into b equal part. Understand the fraction 1 over b as the 24 by the part of size 1 over b. And you give this description to an 8 years old, you probably get reaction like this. To a math expert, the standard makes sense. But to the kid, it's an absolute torture. I tell this example specifically because the fractions are the foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So kids don't understand fraction in the elementary middle school because it had half road way to go ahead and the high school, but they way to make subtract simple and easy for kids understand. Just remember that math is the language and use that to fear the mages. For example, when I teach first graders how to add subtraction, I start with the apple plus lesson. First say yes, 1 apple plus 1 apple, and people often say 2 with the partly correct. Half them include the word as well with the math of the language, but not just 2, it is 2 apples. Next is the 3 pencil plus 3 pencils. You all know that pencil plus pencil give you the pencil. So everyone, how many pencils? 5 pencil is right, and the key of you include the word. I'll try to submit with 5 years old nice in the month. After she add the pencil and pencil, I ask her, what's 4 billion plus 1 billion? And my aunt overheard and listened and said, are you crazy? She's been kindergarten, how's she supposed to know? 4 billion plus 1 billion. I'm done it. My niece finishes counting, look up and says, 5 billion? And I say that's right, it is 5 billion. My aunt stood had to because she didn't expect that from 5 years, but all you have to do is the language approach the math become into easy and easy to understand. To I asked her the question kindergarten definitely not supposed to know. What is 1/3 plus 1/3? And she immediately answered 2/3. Thought you are wondering how can she possibly know that when she doesn't know about the numerator and denominator yet. You see, she wasn't thinking about numerator and denominator. She solved the problem this way and used 1 apple plus 1 apple as her analogy to understand 1/3 plus 1/3. So even si kindergarten can add subtraction, you better believe that every third garden can do as well. Just for fun, ask her to algebra question. What's 7x squared plus 2x squared? And then the 5 years correctly answered 9x squared. And she did any exponent rule to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either wired or not, it's not true. Math is the human language. So we have all the ability to understand this. We need to take the language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and they insist about math. And it doesn't have to be that way. I work with the angry, frustration high school student one who couldn't pass the algebra because she only knew 44% and the multiplication tax. I've told her that such kind of weird only knowing that 44% of the alphabet is holding me back. She couldn't pass her public relation and had the confidence in math. The result, she teenager had the confidence in herself. I've told her we have to start with the multiplication because one time all of you have with your past, everything get easier and they will be having the fast pack every happy ride in Disneyland. What do you think? And she said okay. So systematically learn the times table in the 4 weeks and yes, even the multiplication has the language in the better that. You'll be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3 which just mean 3 7 times just like this. So when kids see this way and quickly realize that the repetition is slow and inconvenient, so gladly they memorize that 3 7 times. All the way to 21. The further teenager without risk of dropping out, becoming fluent, the confidence in the multiplication with the gain charger, because for the first time, she could focus the problem solving instead of counting on the fingers. I'm new at the corner when she figured out the 2 years curly at $445 at the month would cost to $10,680. She's looking at me disapprovingly and said, Mr. Poklisock, that's expensive. At the moment, math is not longer causing problem for her, but she's giving the math solve problem as the result to adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to be tirely you with this challenge. Our country is stuck at 26% subtraction, and I challenge you to pass the number higher. This is important because the mathematical thinking not build young minds, but our kids needed to imagine and develop their future doesn't yet exist. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as apple plus apple. It says that we teach math the human language, and we will get it sooner rather than later. Thank you.
This is it about my video. I hope you like it. Bye bye.